The Honeymoon Killers is a 1970 film. This is directed by Leonard Kastle, written by Kastle with a cast including Shirley Stoller, Tony Bianco, Doris Roberts. It's because of Doris Roberts that I became aware of this film, and I read the description and I thought that sounds like it's going to be really good. And it also has a rather impressive 7 out of 10 on IMDb across 6.2 thousand reviews and ratings, a very impressive Metascore of 82. And I don't get it. I don't get the appeal with this one. I just found it to be tremendously boring. I love the characters, and the narrative, which I'll talk about in a moment, sounded great, but I just found it to be very, very dull. It's about a woman who ends up in this relationship. Martha ends up in a relationship with Ray, but Ray has some very dark hobbies, to want for a better word, where he becomes friendly with some women and then does some very dark and dangerous things to them. And I could probably go into a little bit more detail than that, but I don't want to give away too much just in case you don't want to know. But basically, it's this couple who are facilitating some very dark things and really inconveniencing some women, to put it mildly. But as a concept, it sounded great. And then I found it to be tremendously boring and not interesting in the slightest. And I can't work out if it's meant to be a dark comedy. It's not listed anywhere as a comedy, but there were times where it felt like they were trying to make it a dark comedy. Obviously, the subject matter itself is quite heavy, and there are periods of life relief, but it's not that dramatic. It's not that thrilling. So I feel like maybe they were going for the dark comedy aspect, but that's purely speculation. There's nothing online, at least IMDb and Wikipedia, that suggests it's a comedy. But there were moments where I thought, are you trying to be amusing? Because you're not thrilling, you're not gripping, you're not compelling. Am I just thinking that this is a little bit ridiculous? Is that maybe why I'm finding it potentially a dark comedy, even though I didn't find it funny? I just don't think it's a very well executed narrative. The characters are great, very well written, really good performances, but the stories the characters are working with are so boring. The pacing is terrible, and it's just so mundane. So I didn't think it was a good film. I don't understand the high ratings. Loved the concept, hated the execution, liked the performances and the characters. Visually, it's quite satisfying. It's a black and white film, which, yeah, it works. I suppose it kind of helps to give it a slightly grittier atmosphere, but not enough to save the film. So I don't recommend it at all. But as I said, it's got a very high rating on IMDb. So maybe there's an appeal there that I'm just not seeing. Not every film is going to appeal to every person, but I don't see the appeal because the narrative is very boring. It's not thrilling. It's not gripping. And I don't think it's a dark comedy, but as I said, there were moments where I thought, are you trying to be amusing? Because you're certainly not being thrilling. So I don't get it. I don't understand the appeal. But if you're curious, check it out, because clearly it seems to appeal to a lot of people. So give it a go. You might enjoy it more than I did, and I'd be very keen to know what you think of it. Credit where it's due. The camera work's good. The performances are good. The characters are very well written. It's just not enough to save the film for me. The narrative sounded great. Didn't care for the execution, so I don't personally recommend it, but it seems to be well received. So if you're curious, ignore everything I've said, watch it for yourself, come to your own conclusion, let me know what you think. Maybe you'll like it more than I did.